Thank you very much, Ron, Gordon, Glenn, Bruce. This is a segue into the third part of our program. The first part, Fadi kind of kicked things off and put things in context, all right, of what we were talking about. The second part, we met some of our iGeneration students, and we just had a very interesting panel talking about, how we can support them in the classroom. All right, the third thing we're going to kick off now, starting with Charlie Fey is going to return to the stage, is to talk a little bit about the support structure that's available outside of the classroom. There are a wealth of support structures from learning communities, from, well, I'll let Charlie introduce everything. So Charlie?
The rest of the afternoon is really filled with the kinds of things that we can be doing together to help our students succeed. And a lot of them are areas that fall under the student academic support and student affairs area of the university. We're going to start with one new one, the Academic Success Center, Advising Success Center, that is going to be charged with doing some things to help those students who are at risk, who are undecided, or who are transitional within the institution. And this year is the first kickoff year for this center. So we're going to talk a little bit today about what is it going to do for our students themselves. So we'll talk about the populations they serve, as I mentioned a moment ago, what the goals for the center are, and the role of the faculty and the department and staff that we're going to be working with. We have brought together a remarkable group of folks to begin working this year with the Academic Advising Center. And I want to at least introduce the director, and then the director can introduce the rest of her staff. But it's really my pleasure. One of the first people, I keep messing this up. One of the first people that I had the chance to meet while I was here the third week of September a year ago was our new director of the Academic Advising Center, Sarah Vandermark. When she talked with me about a concept and a vision for what academic advising could be here at this university, but in general as well, it resonated very closely with what my philosophies are about how advising helps support students. So I was very pleased when we were able to get authority from the president and the provost to move forward with this new concept, to have Sarah say, I'm interested, let me jump into this mix. And we hired her to be the director. So I'm not going to speak much more. This is the expert we're going to be sharing the understanding with. So Sarah Vandermark, director of the Academic Advising Center.
Hello. All right, so we're going to just talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing within. Obviously, there's a lot of academic advisors here, both faculty and professional. So just a little bit about what we want to accomplish as academic advisors. And I thought it was interesting with what the students were saying as well, because they used a lot of words that you find when students are looking to be retained and have a great experience at their college. And some of the things they were saying about their teachers are also what you want to find in an academic advisor, which I had written some down of caring, honest, connecting, dedication, understandable, motivating, and supportive. So I thought those were really like key words of how I look at and how I know a lot of academic advisors see themselves on the campus. We're kind of an outside resource to them to help them get acclimated to the college and help them form the goals that they're looking to have here and have that long-lasting 4 years, 5 years to graduate from the university. So we want to assist the students in the areas that we can. And a lot of these students are coming in, and I thought it was really interesting too, of when we asked, is this the major you want? Are you sure that this is your major? And I think everyone raised their hand except for 2 people of like, I'm not sure. So, it's kind of helping them, the undecided students and the ones that are in their majors, make sure that that's the right fit for them. So we as academic advisors can help assist that, not only through the Advising Success Center, but also all the academic advisors that are within the departments. So that's how I see us as academic advisors, that warm, supportive, caring person on the campus that the students know that they can come to and connect with. So that's what we are, acting as that resource for them. And they do say that a lot of undecided students report high levels of uncertainty. So we want to help with that uncertainty and help them decide on what type of major is the best fit for them at NJIT. And as they were saying with some of the students who've left, they didn't even know we had the business degree because of school, it's labeled School of Management. So kind of helping them decipher their way through college, especially the undecided, in what major is best for them. And that's not only through us as just working as a center, but also working and collaborating with all of the departments across the campus. So really starting to discuss through the College of Engineering and through School of Architecture of all the different majors that you currently have, and really working with your departments and the faculty on making sure we find the best fit for these students as undecided students. This is a quote also: the advisors are a vital part of the program. They keep you on track, they help you get classes, and they get to know info about my interests. And we all know that students don't just come to us about what can I register for next. They come with tons of different questions. They come with tons of different concerns. So what I want to discuss after, with this, is not only our population, but MapWorks, which I think a show of hands of how many people so far have been introduced to MapWorks in this here so far. Okay, great. All right. So through the center, currently our population is going to be the undecided engineers, the undecided CSLA students, and at risk. How we're going to be dealing with the at-risk students population and how we're going to identify that population is through MapWorks, which we're going to talk a little bit about MapWorks after this. So that's the identifying factor currently. We will probably have more factors before the students even get here next fall. But this fall, what we're going to be working with mostly is the MapWorks. And also, we're going to be helping with students in transition. So I know a lot of academic advisors on campus have a lot of students, not only freshmen that they're dealing with, but sophomores, juniors, and seniors. So if you have that freshman or sophomore that's wanting to change their major, but you may not have the time, or they might not have made an appointment, and you're like, okay, I have someone you could go talk to. And it could be somebody in our center, if just for time purposes. But we also are here for that transition and helping students change majors, whether it's from CSLA to engineering, normally it's usually engineering, to the CSLA or School of Management. But we'll be helping with the students in transition at this point with just changing majors within NJIT. Now, how we're going to be helping with retention, and this is a goal for the whole entire university, is helping us through MapWorks. Now, MapWorks is a pretty big, first I'd like to say thank you to Grace Lopez, who's been working a lot with MapWorks, and we also have Haresh Gopal, Johnny Wong, and Prima that also have been helping tremendously on putting all the information into the system. So thank you. So MapWorks is basically a tracking and assessment tool. And how it works, because I'm so used to walking around, like not used to standing here. So how it works is, MapWorks is, okay, it's a big tool. The first assessment that we're going to be using is the third week through freshman seminar. And Ashish as well, thank you. So freshman seminar and the learning communities, CS 107, all the classes that are taught, Management 190, these are all first-year freshman classes that the assessment is going to be given to the students. In the class, it's going to be a homework assignment. And what this does is it helps us look at students socially, behaviorally, financially, and education-wise. So a student might be doing really, really well in class, but then they might say, I don't have the money to afford to go to NJIT, okay? Or they might be doing well in class, they might be doing well financially, but they might be living on campus and say, I'm socially isolated. I'm not really, talking to any students on campus, and I'm not connecting. This is a tool to actually see who those students are. And what the MapWork assessment does is it labels the students as a color. So green is they're fine. Yellow is, I'm having a little bit of an issue. And red is like red, and then double red is I'm leaving, I'm not even staying here. So I thought it was interesting because Fadi brought up exit interviews. Now, This is a tool not only for freshman seminar classes to see these green, yellow, reds, but also we've already been talking to the academic advisors to when you see these students come up in that third week and they're yellow or red, is to send out an email to them and to connect with those students and see what's going on. Is there any sort of solution, especially financially, emotionally? We have counseling center, connecting them with residence life. Maybe if it's, I'm not connecting with my residence life or the student that that's in my residence hall with me. So these are just other areas that the student we can't figure those out. The student's not going to just walk up to you and say, financially, I can't afford NJIT. Can you help me? It just doesn't happen on the regular. So this is a place where we can actually see that information. And I thought this is a great place also for those exit interviews. Normally, a double red student has an intent to leave NJIT. We might not know what that intent is until we have that conversation with them, and we can actually write a note in MapWorks saying, the student doesn't want to stay at NJIT because we don't have the major or wants to move to Florida. So we can actually put that information in. And the people who will be putting that information is the direct connects. And the direct connects are those academic advisors, the freshman seminar instructors. When you see input only, that's all the faculty that are in here that are teaching those freshman courses. So we have faculty who are teaching courses like the ones that we put in the system are all the math courses that incoming freshmen are taking, CS 100, CS 113, HUM 099, HUM 101, FED courses, Management 190, see if I can name them all, Chem 121, 125, ARC 155, 163. What am I missing? Physics 111, 111A, thank you. I think I got them all. So all those are in the system. And what faculty can do is you can actually say, I have not seen Johnny for 2 weeks. You could put his absences in the system for us. So you can say, for your attendance, you can put that in. Also, another way, what we want the math, which we're working with Eileen Mitchie and Mark Arnowitz in the HUM sections, is also getting those faculty to put in their common exams and their midterm exams. So not only are we going to be doing the MapWorks assessment, but then we have another place to catch those students. Because those students who are green are usually like, I'm doing great because I have a life and I'm partying. And then all of a sudden they get their commons and they're like, oh, wow, I'm now a red because I'm failing out of school. So we can there's different ways of catching these students and talking to them about those time management skills and stress management. But we have different ways of doing this throughout the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th week. So it's not at the end of the semester when the student leaves, we don't know why they left. So this is a way we can track our students. And also through the notes and the referrals. So if any faculty member in here sees a student who's struggling, like Fadi had been saying earlier, I had written down about like physically not in class or not paying attention, and you want to put a note in the system of a referral, you're concerned, you could put a referral in or a note in about the student, and all those notes come to the campus coordinators, which is Grace Lopez and myself. We're the ones that then can send those out to the campus resources, to either tutoring or to counseling, Murray Center, all those different resources that are available on campus. Okay, so what we want to create is that now all of these departments can be working together so that we can retain the students as best we can. We're just a tool, and MapWorks is a tool, so we're going to be the campus coordinators to actually coordinate with all the different departments across campus to hopefully retain the students that might just have a financial issue, might just have a specific struggle that they need, that we can answer within one session with them through Advisement, through Freshman Seminar, or through our Advising Success Center.
My brother-in-law went to Sears not long ago and bought himself a big band saw. Beautiful. Actually, it was about 4 years ago. And in the 4 years since he bought it, it hasn't been used once. It sits in his basement gathering dust. It's a beautiful saw. He's never used it. MapWorks, DegreeWorks, all the other things we have are tools. And if we put it in our basement and don't use it, we have really lost a phenomenal opportunity to help our students succeed. And the bottom line is everything we do, whether you're in the faculty, you're a faculty member in the classroom, whether you're an advisor, whether you're a counselor in the counseling center, whether you're a financial aid, it doesn't matter where you are, you have tools to help our students succeed. And if we don't find the way to use those tools, then we're failing our students. Ford used to have a slogan called, I think it was quality is job one, something like that. Here, what we ought to be saying is student success is job one for every single person on this campus. Student success is job one. How do we do that? We do it by working together. We do it by talking to each other about the things we're doing and asking for help from each of us when our students are presenting something for us to be doing that maybe we don't know how to resolve it ourselves. We need to take the time. I can't tell you, and I know you've experienced this, how many times people get sent from one office to the next because that person didn't want to take the time to find the answer for the student. Let's take the time. That's really critical, and it will go a long way in driving up satisfaction numbers, because we have not a great satisfaction number. Our students are not overly satisfied with our institution. We can change that by changing our attitude and perception as we're dealing with students. Well, Dr. Deek earlier today spoke about retention and graduation numbers, and I don't think that we actually showed those numbers or talked about them. This is what we're talking about. Our current retention rate and graduation rates for this last year were 82% for retention from the first year to the second year. And our graduation rate was at 54%. It's been hovering in the 52 to 54% range for about 7 or 8 years. It was down below that. It was down below 50% for a little while. But it's around that number. Fadi mentioned that U.S. News & World Report has a formula for what we ought to be doing, and these are the numbers that formula says we ought to be at. Our freshman retention rate, given the profile of our entering students, should be at 90%. That's an 8% increase from where we are right now. You've heard of the name probably Noel Levitt. You've heard of Vince Tinto, these guys that are really national experts in retention. Vince Tinto specifically said at another institution I was at, do not expect your retention rates to climb more than 1% to 2% a year. Doing more than that is very unlikely. So if we're to reach 90% by 2020, we've got to be at that about 2% number from now on. To do that really is going to be tough. But then let's put it in context. What is 1% of 1,000? And I think it's not as many students as we think. If we really work at it year after year, keeping another 50, 60 students couldn't be that. It can't be. It is difficult, but it's an achievable number if we keep it in a context like that. Our graduation rate needs to hit between 63 and 65%. I've heard both numbers. I think the president's goal is 65%. I think the number that U.S. News has is about 63% and change. So we ought to be looking at between 63 and 65%. Again, that's not an easy one to change, but if you keep it in the context of the numbers we have to do, Fadi talked today about simply helping students who hit 150 credits or around there, just to get them a degree would improve us by 2% doing nothing else. There are a lot of things we can do. So this is a goal. We're going to be talking about these goals quite a lot over the next 6 or 7 years until we hit those magic numbers. One person that we didn't talk about earlier, and we need to, for MapWorks, I really want to thank Jack Gentle for really having both vision and an understanding of how this tool can be utilized. And he stepped forward and said, out of our budget, we're going to find the money for that this year. So, Jack, thank you. Publicly thank you for helping us get this put together. There might not be a more important tool for this next couple of years than what MapWorks can do for us. So that vision is really helpful. We're going to wrap this up really quickly because I don't want Dave to be giving me the little thing here that he was doing. Poor Ron Rockland. He just getting beat up on that one. Sorry, Ron. But this comes right out of the academic plan. The things we're doing with MapWorks comes right from there. It's addressing it. So number one, it says developing a culture of strategic planning and assessment. MapWorks is nothing but an assessment tool. and an opportunity for us to utilize those assessments and help a student succeed. And then the academic plan talks about student success from admission to employment to the alumni area. You heard Fadi talking about that, maximizing our reputation, et cetera. Our high quality, and that's not just the Academic Advising Center, that's just one really small component of what we're talking about. All of you who are advisors, all of you who are faculty will have an opportunity to work on this, to help basically negotiate the critical period between the first day they walk on campus to that first critical touch point of 6 weeks. Students mostly who decide to leave make that decision within the first 6 weeks. So we don't have a lot of time to try to save some of those students. But all of us have that opportunity. In the Advisement Center, it's a goal, a primary goal of that Advisement Center. It's a goal that many of you who are working with this, what I'm calling, and I hope they'll call it that, but the Academic Advising Council, talking about how do we do this? How do we help students succeed in those first 2 years? All of that, making us policies that will be able to be applied across the board, across the campus, will help students understand what they need to do to succeed and help advisors understand how that plays out across the various cultures. You've met Sarah, and many of the rest of our advisors are sitting right back here. Just stand up very quickly. Grace Lopez, Dasha Barger, and Kelly Mangelli, right? Kelly is only here 2 weeks. Give them a round of applause. We're really looking forward to the work you guys are going to do to help us with this success for our students. So thank you. Are there any questions about MapWorks or Advisement in general or the center in particular or anything? Yes, sir.
So, which department are you in? Biology. We're working, do we have Biology 200 in the system? I don't think we have biology. We could put Biology 200 in the system. Yeah, yes. You're saying yes. Yeah, so we could put, what we were doing was, yeah, no, that's fine. We were trying to, at first we were just doing math, chemistry, English, and then it became physics, CS. So it's become like pretty much every class, because the more the better. So we will put Biology 200 in there. And what we've been doing is, I know I've been working with Eileen Mitchie for math, Mark Arnowitz for English, Gail Katz for chemistry. So I'll have to find out who the direct person is, probably Karen Roach, for coordinating the biology courses, and setting something up with the department to see when you can put in and show you how MapWorks works, so we could put you in the system. Yes. Perfect. Yeah, thank you. So I'll give you my information and then we can meet.
There's a question over here.
MapWorks got an interface with Moodle?
It can, yes.
Yes.
Yes, it can. We're working on that.
I do want to caution everybody. This is the first year. We haven't even had it on the campus yet. So as you're looking through, how can we make MapWorks work better for you? Please give us those ideas, both Sarah and Grace, the whole center, me, anybody, Jack, whoever you think can help. Just let us know, how can we make Moodle, make MapWorks, make DegreeWorks better and more interactive so that you have better tools to work with your students. So thank you for that question.
And I'm hoping to go around to each department. So I'm here. I would love to get like biology, your information, and I can set up a time to come by the departments. If anybody wants to meet individually, that's fine as well.
Anything else? Dave, did we stay on track? Yeah, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.